Hello, my name is Lana Condor, and I'm here with Rewild.
Vietnam is part of the Annamites ecoregion, and the Annamites has one of the highest concentrations of endemic species of any continental region in the world. Endemic means species only found in that area, so Vietnam has a very high number of species found nowhere else.
Rewild works in partnership with WWF Vietnam, and we went to the Saola Nature Reserve because that's a major focus of the work that they do.
So we're in the Saola Nature Reserve. This is in central Vietnam. It was established in 2011 with the purpose of actually saving the Saola, which is a large type of wild cattle, one of the rare species in the world. And in addition to Saola, it was also set up to protect Annamite striped rabbit, large antlered muntjac, and Osen civet, all species that are only found in the Annamites and are very rare.
The Annamite Mountain Range is a hotspot with many new species discovering over the past 30 years. I think most of them are endangered species now. A lot of new mammals discovered in a short period of time show that the Annamite Mountain Range has the power to put a very strong evolutionary force on the animals living there to make them so unique and so distinct.
Many of the ground-dwelling mammal and bird species are highly threatened because of high levels of snaring. And so many of these species their populations have been reduced across the country, and some of them are on the brink of extinction. Forest rangers are the front line for protecting biodiversity in Vietnam's national parks. They're the people that are on the ground doing the hard work to make sure that the laws that are on the books are actually implemented.
Công việc chủ yếu công việc của anh em thì toàn là tập trung vào công việc tạo dầu bẫy và làng trại. Giờ thì nói chung là cái mối đe dọa của bẫy để ảnh hưởng đến các cái sự sống của các loài động vật. Thì chúng tôi đang bảo vệ là cái con sâu lá đang bên tuyệt chủng.
Every year, the forest guards here are pulling thousands of snares out of the forest.
I don't think we've seen one yet, so I don't really know exactly what I'm looking for.
Sure. So it's really shockingly simple. Usually people buy bicycle wire, which you can get for pennies in basically any town. And then they take that wire and form a loop, and then they attach that to a bent over branch. So this is a wire snare. It's a typical example of what you find in central Vietnam. Underneath these leaves, there's a loop, and there's a trigger mechanism underneath that's very simple. It's just made of twigs, basically. And if an animal steps here, it will trigger and then snap up like this, and the animal will be caught. There was a report that came out a couple of years ago that estimated that there are approximately 13 million wire snares in the forests of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia.
Really? Wow. Wow.
Do cái cơ chế của lò bẫy này ấy, thì họ sẽ đào một cái hố như
tay vẫn giữ đấy.
Như thế này ạ.
We wanted to see Delacour's langur because it's an endemic primate. It's found only in Vietnam, one of the rarest primates in the world.
We set out on these little river boats and we went into the wild in hopes to see them. There are so few of them. There's 300 left. So we went out for maybe 2 hours in search for them. The local women who were rowing, paddling us around, they spotted them. Basically on like the highest point of the mountains. And you really see them because of their white markings that look like pants. This is the greatest playground at home. I got really upset because I like had this thought of like what it would be like if the entire cliffside was filled with them. How just incredible that would be. And we only saw 3. And it was just a really sobering moment to really realize just how few left are in the world.
Unfortunately, because poaching pressure is so high in Vietnam, many of the forests are eerily silent. There's actually a term for this, empty forest, which is forest that is structurally intact, but has very few animals left in it because they've been hunted out. The goal long-term for Rewild and our partners working on the ground is actually to put animals back into these empty forests so that they're not empty anymore. And to do that, we need conservation breeding centers. We visited 3 breeding centers in Cuc Phuong National Park, the Endangered Primate Rescue Center, the Asian Turtle Program Center, and Save Vietnam's Wildlife Center.
All of them were breeding to try and raise the population of these really endangered, close to extinct animals.
Most of our primates here are confiscated by policemen and rangers, and we brought them here for taking care of them until they are being able to be released. But since our animals are mostly social animals, so it's always better to group them as a family, and would be much better if they increase the population in captivity first, and then we release them back with more chance to save the species in the wild.
The focus of this center is a training ground for the ranger in Vietnam. So we brought ranger all over from Vietnam here and then teach them how to identify a turtle species, how to rescue, how to take care of the turtle.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So every year we got nearly 400 turtle rescued from the illegal trade, and then we take care of them, we rehabilitate them, and then we put them back to the wild. So far we have been released about more than 1,000 animals back to the wild. So it's the Boreas box turtle, so one of the focal species for the breeding center in central Vietnam, in Thừa Thiên Huế. And we got nearly 100 of them here. We will work with Rewild and also other partners to do a conservation breeding. And the final goal is to release those animals back to the wild. Oh, you are holding a female.
Nice.
You can see from the tail.
Oh, okay.
So those centers are a model for how breeding centers can perform this dual tracks of preventing extinction of species in the wild, but also breeding these animals up to release them back into the wild. So just as an example, the Primate Rescue Center has already released Delacour's langur into Van Long Nature Reserve, which is a site that we visited. So they're already boosting the population of Delacour's langur in that site. And that's what we're hoping to do for other species in central Vietnam. We're hoping to use that same model for Annamite striped rabbit and large antlered muntjac, all of these species that are very, very rare and which need urgent conservation attention to prevent their extinction, but also for which we want to build up healthy populations for future generations. Many of the species that are found in Vietnam are endemic to the Annamites, and if we lose them from the Annamites, we lose them forever. It has one of the largest forest areas in Southeast Asia, and we need healthy forests in Southeast Asia if we're going to tackle major challenges like climate change, for example. And to have healthy forests in Southeast Asia, we need healthy forests in Vietnam. And to have healthy forests in Vietnam, we need forests that are full of animals. And so what happens on a small scale in protected areas in Vietnam actually contributes to healthy forests in Southeast Asia, and that is a big link in our efforts to fight global climate change.
I was born here. I was born on the Mekong Delta, so being here is just the most important and incredible experience because I feel the more that I travel here and the more that I learn, particularly with environment and with the species, the more I feel connected to my people and connected to my community. And also, I feel very proud to be here and on this trip because I guess my understanding of Vietnam is even more colorful, and I can't wait to bring what I've learned to others.